Morning, Wake Up 1320 WILS. Appreciate you being with us. You know, one thing we learned from the last couple of elections is elections have consequences at the national level, and they certainly do for the purchase of guns across the country. When President Obama was elected the first time, there was a surge in gun ownership, and when he was reelected, it happened again. The idea that there would be an impending infringement upon Second Amendment rights caused people to go out. I remember myself, trying to get ammo for the rifle, and just trying to for the Savage 99. I couldn't find anything. The 22 ammo was all gone. There were no more bricks of that. I go to the to the sporting goods store. What was happening out here? Well, it's kind of the opposite this time around with the election of Donald Trump. Maybe now the feeling that Second Amendment rights and issues are going to go swing the other direction, and so there's not quite the same pressure out there. Will there be a general slowdown in gun sales? Let's talk to Michele Byington today with Texas Law Shield, gun law analyst. Michele, good morning.
Good morning.
Appreciate you being here. Now, what are you seeing out there? You follow the legal end of it, but the marketplace can help drive legal, and legal can do the same thing. They're not necessarily two separate issues. What do you see with the effect on gun sales across the country, and how might that affect the legal end of things?
So, yeah, for the longest time, and I'm sure you have heard, President Obama is the best gun salesman in the nation. And that's because people are so motivated by fear. God knows, fear dictates a lot of what humans do. And the same is true when it comes to gun ownership and going out and purchasing a gun. Whenever somebody tells you, you can't have this, what do you want?
Yeah, you want to get it.
That thing. We're just like children, right? I'm just like a child, I'll admit it. You tell me I can't have something, by God, well, now I want it. And so the same thing applies with guns. When you've got these politicians, and specifically President Obama, saying that it is easier for a child to get their hand on a gun than a library book, you go, what? Well, that's not, number one, that's not true. And number two, this guy may open up an assault on my own gun ownership and my access to guns. And then, of course, we had during this entire election presidential nominee Hillary Clinton, also very, very gun unfriendly. People were going out. I'm in Houston, and people were in Houston going out and buying ammo by just the buckets in fear that she was going to be elected.
Well, that's what I mentioned at the start, though. Yeah, that's what I mentioned going in on the intro there, but again, it's people fueling, is there a reality to what they were saying? What did they actually do? I hear I'm a gun owner. I have fellow gun owners say, it's going to be it's going to be this, it's going to be that, it's going to be okay. Then I get an email during the last year from, civilian marksmanship program saying the president's going to release all these surplus Colt 1911, pistols, and everybody's going crazy trying to get in line to buy those. Well, that doesn't sound like somebody who's taking away my Second Amendment rights. So what about, does the perception, whatever that may be, become reality in the eyes of many gun owners?
Absolutely. That was beautifully put. The perception becomes the reality. That is exactly right. And that fear grasps a hold of somebody who then runs out and buys a gun, and perhaps it even acts as a motivator for those people who are on the fence. I know I've got several friends who were on the fence about buying a gun. They didn't know if they wanted one in the house. And as soon as they were told, by the media that you're not going to be able to possess a gun if Hillary Clinton gets into office, well, they went out and bought a gun. Whether that becomes a reality or not, at this point, it doesn't matter, because they've already gone out and they've
done it. Yeah.
Now we've got President-elect Trump, who has not been a proponent of any sort of anti-gun legislation. That fear has now taken away. And so now that there is not that big motivating drive to go get your hands on a gun before I can't anymore, we're going to see sales, as they already have, start to decline a little bit. They're going to plateau off, and they're going to level off, simply because there isn't that fear of a gun grab.
And so there it is in Second Amendment rights. And as you mentioned there, even with ammo, it wasn't just getting your hands on that. It was getting you on a gun. It was getting your hands on ammunition for the gun. And I got internet emails from people and links to stories saying that the president wants to take away, your ammunition. And the ammunition will be the next thing, and in different states it'll be allowed to fall by the wayside. Well, these are things that you follow with your legal firm. What any particular worries you have going into the new administration as you deal specifically with gun laws and where they stand, both at the federal level and what different states in the reasonable area they have for enacting out there in the District of Columbia as well? Do you have any particular concerns, Michele?
Well, my main concern at this point is who is going to be the Supreme Court nominee, because the Supreme Court, they are the ones with the power, in my opinion. Those are the people that really have the biggest effect on our gun rights. We've had several big Supreme Court cases that have come down, and they have been a dang near split court. They have been 5-4 decisions, and so that 5 was actually ruled in favor of gun rights, and then you had 4 who ruled against it. And so that one justice made all of the difference. So whoever goes to the court, we've got a split court right now when it comes to gun rights, and so it is very important for those who are gun advocates to get somebody up there who does respect the Second Amendment and who will enforce the laws that we've got in place when it comes to self-defense and gun ownership.
The president-elect has said he would likely try to nominate someone in line in a mindset of the late Justice Antonin Scalia. If that were the case, you would have far less fears from your end of things on the legal side with Texas Law Shield. Am I correct?
That's exactly right. If we could find a Scalia twin, I will sleep happily at night.
Michele Byington is here. She's a gun law analyst with Texas Law Shield. Where can we find you for listeners here? And we have many who are gun owners here on the station who listen to the show. Where can we find you online?
Go to walkerbyington.com. That is my firm's website. And then, of course, texaslawshield.com as well. We do all of the work for Texas Law Shield, and we represent gun owners every day who are members of that program.
Michele, we appreciate your viewpoint today very much.
Thank you.
More coming up on your morning wake-up. Interesting. Yes, indeed. Perception versus reality. And certainly 8 years of that, and now what will the new reality bring? This is WILS.